Even though they had prayed this would not happen, they had taken precautions. Lefebvre retreated into the opposite half of the module and fired the separation charges, amputating her part of the ship from Sylveste's. By then her transform was almost gone. Via the audio-visual link between the two separated parts of the craft, she informed Sylveste that she could feel gravitational forces building, twisting and pulling at her body in viciously unpredictable ways. Thrusters sought to move her module away from the curdled space around the shroud, but the object was just too large, and she too small. Within minutes the stresses were tearing at the craft's thin hull, though Lefebvre remained alive, huddled fetally in the last dwindling pocket of quiet space focused on her brain. Sylveste lost contact with her just as the craft burst asunder. Her air was sucked quickly out, but the decompression did not happen quickly enough to entirely snatch away her screams. Lefebvre was dead. Sylveste knew it, but his transform was still holding the snakes at bay. Bravely, more alone than any human being in history, Sylveste continued his descent into the shroud boundary. Some time later, Sylveste awoke in the silence of his craft. Disorientated, he tried to contact the study station which was supposedly awaiting his return. But there was no answer. The study station and the light hugger were lifeless, almost destroyed. Some kind of gravitational spasm had passed him by and peeled them open, eviscerating them just as thoroughly as Lefebvre's craft had been. The crew and backup members of his team had been killed instantly, along with the Ultras. He alone had survived. But for what? To die, only far more slowly. Sylveste steered his module back to what remained of the station and the light hugger. For a moment his thoughts were empty of the shrouders, focused only on survival. Working alone, living within the cramped confines of the pod, Sylveste spent weeks learning how to jump-start the light hugger's crippled repair systems. The shroud spasm had vaporized or shredded thousands of tons of the light hugger's mass, but it only had to carry one man home now. When the recuperative processes were in swing, he was able to sleep, finally, not daring to believe that he would actually succeed. And in those dreams, Sylveste gradually became aware of a momentous, paralyzing truth. After Karine Lefebvre was killed, and before he regained consciousness, something had happened. Something had reached into his mind and spoken to him. But the message that was imparted to him was so brutally alien that Sylveste could not begin to put it into human terms. He had stepped into revelation space.